They're inside your head, right now, this moment. Someone knows exactly how to make you obey. Not with force, not with threats, with something far more dangerous. Your need to explain yourself, every word you use to defend your choices, a weapon they'll turn against you. Every explanation you give, a chain they'll use to drag you back. Machiavelli watched this destroy princes and popes, the desperate need to justify, to be understood. It made them slaves. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the one thing that breaks their control forever: strategic opacity. And once you master it, you become untouchable. You've felt it, that pressure to explain yourself, to justify every decision, every boundary, every choice. Your boss questions your judgment. You explain. Your friend challenges your priorities. You defend. Someone crosses your line. You rationalize why you're upset, and every single time, you lose ground. Here's what's really happening. They're not asking because they're confused. They're asking because it works. Because the moment you start explaining, you're in their frame, playing their game. You think you're being reasonable, communicating, building understanding. You're not. You're being controlled. Society teaches you that good people explain themselves, that mature adults communicate, that strong relationships require constant justification. It's a lie, a carefully constructed trap that keeps you manageable, predictable, controllable. You're not weak. You're being exploited. Machiavelli spent years observing the most powerful courts in Renaissance Italy. He watched princes rise and fall, and he discovered something that changed everything. The rulers who explained their decisions constantly. They were always overthrown, always manipulated, always controlled. But the ones who remained strategically mysterious, who offered no justifications, they held absolute power. He wrote in The Prince, "The wise ruler never reveals the reasons for his actions until the action is complete." Because explanation is submission. Every time you justify yourself, you acknowledge someone else's right to judge you. You place them above you. You hand them authority over your life. This isn't about being cold. It's about being free. Number 1, your explanations are their ammunition. The moment you explain yourself, you give others a roadmap to control you. Picture this. Your partner questions why you're going out with friends. You explain. "I need social time. I've been stressed. I haven't seen them in weeks. I'll be back by 10. You think you're being considerate. 2 weeks later, same situation. But you just saw them. You said you were stressed about work, not friends. You said you'd be back by 10 last time, and it was 10:30. Every detail you shared became a weapon. They're using your own words to build a cage. Here's what's happening underneath. When you explain, you create measurable criteria for your decisions. Those criteria become negotiable terms, attack surfaces they can exploit. If you say, "I can't because I'm exhausted," they'll say it's just an hour. If you justify with being too busy, they'll offer to help. So you owe them. You've turned your boundary into a debate. Machiavelli once said, "He who builds his position on explanations builds on sand," because explanations can always be questioned, twisted, turned against you. But a simple, "I'm going out," stands on bedrock. Here's what you do instead. State your decision once. "I'm unavailable Tuesday, full stop." When they ask why, "Because I have plans." Or simply, "I've decided." No story, no justification, no negotiation. Your choices don't need a defense attorney. They need your commitment. Number 2, silence transfers power. When you stay silent, the other person must fill the void, and when they fill it, they reveal everything. Imagine you set a boundary with someone. They ask why. You say nothing, just a calm look. Within 60 seconds, they've told you their real agenda, their fears, their manipulation tactics. This is the silence extraction technique. Let them talk themselves into revealing their hand. Humans are terrified of silence. We're wired to fill it. When you create silence strategically, others rush to fill it with information, and information is power. The person talking is always losing. They're revealing, explaining, justifying, while you're gathering intelligence, learning their patterns. Machiavelli understood this. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps. Silence is the fox. It lets you see the traps while others build them right in front of you. Next time someone demands an explanation, count to 5 before responding. In meetings, after making a statement, stay quiet. In arguments, stop defending. Just listen. The less you say, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more power you hold. Number 3, over-explaining reveals your weak points. Every explanation is a confession of your vulnerabilities. Imagine someone asks why you can't lend them money. You say, "Well, I have my rent coming up, and my car needs repairs, and I'm trying to save for an emergency." You've just handed them your entire financial situation, your stress points, your limits. Next month, when they know you got paid, they'll be back. They know your rent is covered. They'll use your own explanations to corner you. This is vulnerability mapping. Every detail you share becomes a data point they use to manipulate you. Manipulators are pattern seekers. They listen for cracks, hesitations, specific concerns. Then they craft their approach around those exact weak points. Machiavelli knew this danger. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. And your explanations are their deception manual. You write it for them, one justification at a time. The fix is brutal in its simplicity. Stop giving them information. A boundary needs no backstory. "I'm not available" is complete. "That doesn't work for me" needs nothing added. "No" is a full sentence. When you catch yourself about to explain, stop, breathe, restate your position, but don't fill their intelligence file. Your reasons are yours, not ammunition for their arsenal. If you're ready to master this principle, drop this in the comments. I protect my energy. Number 4, they're testing your boundaries. Every request for explanation is a test to see if you're controllable. Picture this. Someone asks why you need alone time, not because they're genuinely curious. They're testing if you'll defend yourself. If you explain, you've failed the test. You've shown you believe you need permission for your own choices. Here's the manipulation pattern. Ask for an explanation. Break down explanation. Present counter-argument. Make people defend themselves. Wear them down. Get compliance. It's a script, and it only works if you play your part. The moment you explain, you've entered their frame. You're now on trial, and they're the judge. When someone truly respects your decisions, do they demand explanations? No. They might ask once out of curiosity, but they back off. But when someone wants to control you, they never accept your first answer. They push. They probe. They make you defend yourself until you're exhausted and compliant. Machiavelli observed, "Men are so simple and so subject to present needs that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived." Don't be that someone. Recognize the test. When they ask why, they're not seeking information. They're seeking compliance. Your move. "I've made my decision." Then silence. If they push, "I'm not discussing this." Then disengage. You're not being rude. You're being free. The boundary testers need to learn. You don't play that game. Comment, "I choose strategic silence," if you understand this principle. Number 5. Strategic opacity is self-respect made visible. Refusing to explain yourself isn't arrogance. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. Picture someone who explains every decision to everyone. What are they really saying? Please approve of me. Please validate my choices. Please tell me I'm okay. They're seeking external permission to exist. Now picture someone who makes decisions and moves forward. No justification, no seeking approval. What are they saying? I trust myself. My assessment is enough. I don't need your validation. That's power. That's freedom. That's self-respect in action. When you constantly explain yourself, you're declaring that other people's approval matters more than your own judgment. You're saying, my reasoning isn't valid until you accept it. But when you refuse to explain, you're declaring, I am the authority on my own life. This isn't about being closed off or refusing feedback. It's about the difference between choosing to share and being forced to defend. Machiavelli's wisdom: it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Translation for modern life: it's better to be respected than liked if you cannot be both. And respect comes from boundaries. Mystery. Strategic opacity. The people who truly care about you will respect your decisions without demanding explanations. The ones who push, who demand, who try to make you defend yourself, they're not loving you, they're controlling you. Starting today, next time someone asks why you made a choice, try this: because I decided to, or it's what works for me, or simply, I don't need to explain that. You're not being mean. You're being free. You came here feeling controlled, pressured to justify every decision, every boundary, every choice. You're leaving with a weapon: strategic opacity. You now know that every explanation is ammunition, that silence transfers power, that over-explaining reveals vulnerabilities, that your boundaries are not up for debate. Machiavelli's final lesson: the wise man does in the beginning what the fool does in the end. The fool explains until they're broken, then they finally stop. The wise person never starts. You have a choice. Will you continue explaining yourself into submission, or will you master strategic opacity? Own your decisions without apology. Stand in your power without explanation. The moment you choose the second path, everything changes. People will test you, push you. Don't break. Your freedom lives on the other side of that discomfort. If this changed how you see control and manipulation, hit that like button. Drop your biggest insight in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to understand strategic opacity. Drop your final commitment: I control my power. Strategic opacity isn't manipulation. It's mastery. It's not cruel. It's self-preservation. It's not arrogance. It's self-respect. You are the authority on your life. Not them. Never them. Machiavelli knew: the prince who needs no approval rules longest. The person who needs no explanation lives freest. That person is you now. Next video, I'm revealing the 5 phrases manipulators use to make you feel guilty for having boundaries, and how to disarm them with one sentence. Until then, remember, your silence is your strength. Your mystery is your power. Your strategic opacity is your freedom. Own it